For this video, we're going to take a look at how we use the legs during a moving Qi Gong. Obviously, with the three-circle Qi Gong or other static Qi Gongs, we just hold the legs in position, but eventually we need to start to begin to move. So therefore, we need to link the movement of the legs with the breath. If we start with our regular standing position, and we're just going to open the toes 45 degrees each way, straighten up the heels, and just relax, bending the knees, tucking the tailbone. So for this practice, all we're going to take a look at is using the leg movement to replicate the movements of the breath. So as we breathe in, we naturally rise. So if you think about the in and the out breath, as we breathe in, we expand. As we breathe out, we contract. So we're going to use the same principle with the legs. We're going to start this practice with an out breath. So as you breathe out, you're going to sink down. Now, you don't want to put too much tension into the legs. The muscular tension shouldn't overrule the relaxation factor. To start with, obviously, we're going to get a little bit of discomfort as we're building the strength of the legs, but ultimately, we want to still use this as a meditation. So for this practice, we're going to keep the feet just a little bit wider. This is going to enable us a little bit more balance when we hit those low positions through the out breath. And it also helps to just stabilize the rest of the body. So we're going to breathe out to start with, and that's going to sink us down from our standing position. So again, just like when we use the arms, we don't want to fully extend the legs out, so we lock out the knees and at the hips. And we also don't want to go down too low. So as we breathe out, we're just going to take it down. So you're going to squat down just a little bit further than we do when we do our three-circle Qi Gong. And then as we breathe in, we expand so we get taller. Okay, so from the side, just to give you an idea of depth, as we breathe out, we sink. Now, at this level, you should be quite comfortable. You shouldn't feel like you're falling forwards or backwards. Another thing to take into account is the lower you go, the more you have to lean over. Because you don't have any support behind your body, if you squat down, there's only so far you can go keeping this back nice and straight. So what's going to happen is that just for this practice, this is not what we're going to use for the general Qi Gong, but just for this practice, get comfortable with squatting into position, and then as you breathe in, you begin to rise. Now, this is just a training element that we need to take. So when we start to walk around with our Qi Gong, we're only utilizing the basics and still being able to keep the strength in the legs. So as we start to breathe out, the body is going to sink. And then you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to rise back up, okay? So this is just going to be an exercise for you to match your breathing to your leg movements. When we do an actual Qi Gong, we don't want to be squatting quite as low as that because it requires too much muscle tension. It's going to draw you straight out of that meditative state, and it becomes more strenuous than it needs to be. When we start off, we're just trying to get the idea of this contraction and this expanding. So as we breathe out, we're going to sink down. You can hold your hands wherever you like. They can be behind your back. They can be in front of your body and cross in front of your shoulders, anything you like. So we're just working with the legs. So as we breathe out, we sink down. And then as we breathe in, we come back up. And it's as simple as that. So just trying to match the movements to your breath is very important, like I said, because once we start moving with both the legs and the arms through our Qi Gong, we want to have a complete harmonized body. Okay, so for this guided practice, what we're going to do, we're not going to worry about the base position this time because this is what's going to be moving. The arms are going to be taken out of the equation, so put them wherever's comfortable, on your hips, behind your back, crossed in front of your shoulders. And we're going to start with an in-breath just whilst we stand, and then we're going to take the first out breath into our drop. We're just going to go for a minute and you're going to see how it feels. So breathe in. And then breathe out as you begin to sink. Breathe in, begin to rise. and breathe it out and begin to sink. And remember just to try to match your movements to your breathing. Don't worry about a constant pace. You'll probably find as the minute goes on that your breathing becomes slower and therefore you can slow your movements down. So just control the drop during your out breath. And then breathe in as you rise, coming up through the legs. The back stays straight all the way through. Good. And on this one, as we come up, we finish on the in-breath, and that brings us to a standing position. So with the upper body, you do want to be keeping your back nice and straight. The only thing that you might find is that the deeper you go down with your squat, you might eventually find yourself slightly tilting forwards just to maintain your balance. Now that's not such a problem when we're doing this practice, because you'll find that the more you can squat into the legs, the stronger those legs will get. Please remember that the main focus of this is to condition the body. We don't need to take full squats all the way down to the floor. That's something you can do in your own time for better mobility, for better strength in your legs. If we're just doing the Qi Gong, we just want to focus on that dropping of the body and rising of the body, linking with the breath itself. Okay, so give this exercise a go. And in the next video, we're going to be looking at taking our first steps and also walking around with our Qi Gong. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you.